From the WYLN studios in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, WYLN Evening Edition at 5:30 starts right now.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016. I'm Ann Gownley. On this 266th day without a state budget, Governor Tom Wolf made it official. During a news conference in Harrisburg today, the governor said, quote, "I am going to allow the 2015-16 budget to become law without my signature. This will allow for funding to go out to schools and other services in the short term. But we will still face enormous problems that this budget does not even present to address," unquote. Once the governor made his announcement, many began weighing in on his decision, including this statement from State Senator Johnny Dichak, who said, quote, "I am pleased that much needed funding will finally be delivered to schools and other important state services. However, I remain deeply frustrated with the budget process. Now it is time to move forward in a bipartisan manner to enact a responsible and timely budget for this upcoming fiscal year," unquote. Although the Republican budget cuts expenditures by another $238 million, it remains $290 million out of balance and leaves the 2016-17 budget with a deficit of $2 billion. Today's budget goes into effect on Sunday. The beginning of March, the Hazleton Area School District removed the metal detectors from everyday use. The Hazleton Area School District placed metal detectors in all of its buildings in 2013. WYLN News was there in September of 13 when elementary school students went through them for the first time at Drums Elementary Middle School. Last night, the issue of removing them was brought up. However, Superintendent Dr. Craig Butler says the metal detectors are still at each school and will still be utilized. Hazleton Area Chief Ed Harry just changed the way that they are utilized.
I think the changes have been positive so far. Sure, it was a paradigm shift for everyone at the beginning, but I think students are getting used to it. The checks that we are doing are more intense in nature with more attention to detail. I think yielding more accurate results. So I think it's a change in mindset. After children walking through metal detectors for going on 4 years now, it probably came as a shock. But I think it's a move that makes sense. I think it's going to pay dividends moving forward. And to have SPOs, for example, walking the hallways of our buildings, giving our students and staff assurance that the hallways are safe, there's supervision there. Our best interest is for the safety of the staff and students in every building. That's the message we want to send, and I think we're going to achieve that in the long run.
The idea came from school board member Vinny Zola, who's chairman of the board security. Zola was the district security director a number of years ago. Zola says the routine use of them on every student every day is time-consuming and of very little value. Two guilty pleas from 26-year-old Michael Fushini of Nanticoke. He pleaded guilty Tuesday to 2 counts each of rape and kidnapping, as well as a count of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. He'd been charged with taking 2 women to remote cemeteries and raping them on 2 separate occasions. He'd already been previously convicted of shooting a prostitute in the head. The rapes happened in 2011 and 2012, both at cemeteries in Plymouth Township. Luzerne County Judge David Lupus ordered Fushini to undergo a sex offender evaluation ahead of his sentencing, which is set for April 4th. A 53-year-old Chickasha man has been charged with sexually assaulting a patient at a home for the mentally disabled in Kingston. Andrew Dula III was a caregiver at a community care home for the mentally disabled at 99 North Dawes Avenue, owned by the Kingston-based nonprofit Institute for Human Resources and Services. The victim was a 36-year-old woman who has cerebral palsy, suffers from a severe mental disability, and cannot speak. The assaults are alleged to have happened during diaper changes for months, according to Kingston Police. Dula was arraigned on a felony count of institutional sexual assault. Ownership declined to comment. The State Department of Human Services, which regulates such facilities, said it was investigating. Arrest papers say Dula questioned after co-workers suspected abuse and said he admitted to sexually violating her. He is out on bail with a hearing set for next week. West Hazelton police arrested a wanted man yesterday after a traffic stop in the area of Cranberry Avenue. 23-year-old Yusuf Harry Guzman of Hazelton was wanted on felony charges stemming from a Hazelton City Police arrest warrant. According to police, officers discovered narcotics inside the vehicle and Guzman was taken into custody. West Hazelton police were assisted by officers from the Hazelton City Police Department and Sugarloaf Township Police Departments during that incident. 2 more stores closing at the Schuylkill Mall. Radio Shack in the Schuylkill Mall will close on Monday. The Sprint side of the store is closing on Saturday. The Radio Shack has been at the mall since 1980 when it opened. The Sprint side opened late years later. The closing appears to be a part of a restructuring of Radio Shack, which started in 2014. It announced its plans to close up to 1,100 stores in the U.S. The company has over 1,600 locations in the United States, according to its website, RadioShack.com. There are 86 Radio Shacks in Pennsylvania, and the closest is on Route 93 in West Hazelton. The House Transportation Committee has approved legislation to make ignition interlocks mandatory for first-time DUI offenders with higher blood alcohol levels. Senate Bill 290 would require drivers with a BAC level of 0.10 or higher to have ignition interlock systems installed in their vehicles for 6 months instead of a license suspension. Drivers would have to pay the roughly $1,100 installation cost. Interlocks have been required for repeat offenders since 2003. The devices require drivers to blow into a mouthpiece before they can start their vehicle. The bill now moves to the full House. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders opened his first campaign office in the state last night in Scranton. It's on North Washington Avenue near the courthouse. Asked why Scranton, the campaign state's director Ryan Hughes said he believes the city's mostly working middle-class population identifies with Sanders' message. Sanders, a self-described socialist, has made wealth distribution the central point of his campaign. The Pennsylvania primary is April 26th. Governor Tom Wolf has ordered that all flags in the state of Pennsylvania be flown at half-staff. It is in accordance with President Obama's proclamation to show a sign of respect for those people who tragically lost their lives in yesterday's terror attacks in Brussels, Belgium. The governor released a statement today stating, quote, "On behalf of all Pennsylvanians, Francis and I extend our deepest condolences to the Belgian people and all of those affected by these horrific acts of violence. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims of these heartbreaking tragedy and their family," unquote. Flags will return to full staff on March 26th. Emergency responders in the Hazelton area have joined the nationwide poison prevention campaign, Make Safe Happen. APTS ambulance employees, along with Hazelton City firefighters, are raising awareness about household items that may pose a danger to people, pets, and especially children. Listed in the top 5 most poisonous products are laundry detergent packets, e-cigarettes, medications, hand sanitizers, and button batteries. Children can swallow button batteries and have severe adverse reactions, and just ingesting a small portion of hand sanitizers can make them sick. In case of an accidental poisoning, you should dial 911 immediately. For more information on poison protection, you can call 1-800-222-1222 or visit makesafehappen.com/safety-tips/poison. Time now for a first look at our forecast. Easter is quickly approaching and hopefully the weekend is still clear for some of those outdoor Easter plans like traditional egg hunts. Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik is in the Weather Center with the details. Joe, what can you tell us?
Well, overall, things shaping up to be pretty nice as we head into this upcoming weekend. But before we get to the weekend, we still got a couple more days to contend with before we get into that holiday weekend. And traveling this evening, not looking too bad out there. Weather-wise, looking pretty good. Got a stalled front up toward the north, and as you can see, that's where all the precipitation continues to stay. But for our area, we stay on the dry side of things, and temperature-wise, very mild for this time of year. And it's even going to get milder as we head into tomorrow. Temperature-wise right now, perfect out there for this time of year. 66 in New Angola. It is now 70 degrees in Berwick, 71 in Bloomsburg, 65 in Monnoy City, and 71 degrees in Danville. Have the complete 7-day forecast as well as what we can expect this upcoming weekend coming up in just a few. Ann?
Thanks, Joe. Coming up next, Hazleton's mayor is reaching into his own pocket to make City Hall shine. Plus, speaking of shine, the Luzerne County Shine program held a parents' night last night to inform them on all the possibilities the program has to offer. More news, weather, and sports is coming your way only on WYLN. Stay tuned.
You're watching WYLN News with Ann Gownley, Gary Perna, Julie Stefanovich, Paula Degnan, Chief Videographer Mike Lula, weather with meteorologist Joe Garbacik, and sports with Eric DeBerardinis.
Combined Insurance makes it easy to protect you and your loved ones by paying cash directly to you when you need it most. Whether you're looking for accident and sickness, disability, or life coverage, Combined Insurance has a policy to meet your needs and fit your budget. Call John Ravello, 570-499-0504 for an appointment to help determine the best coverage for you. That's John Ravello, 570-499-0504.
Hello, I'm Paul Esposito Jr. from Victoria's Candies. My family has been serving the Hazleton and surrounding area since 1934. Our secret family recipes and time-tested techniques of making fine candy have made Victoria's Candies your choice for nearly 4 generations. We specialize in Easter baskets and hollow-filled eggs, and we make our own chocolate molds, like the Easter Bunny, the Last Supper, the Cross, an iPod, a cell phone, or a guitar, just to name a few. Shop where the Easter Bunny shops, Victoria's Candies.
The inside of Hazleton City Hall is getting somewhat of a facelift, and Mayor Jeff Cassat is footing the bill. You may notice some improvements on Hazleton City Hall's second floor. Mayor Jeff Cassat has paid for them himself. Cassat painted his second floor office by himself with paint he bought himself. He also paid for some other things such as wall art and furniture.
It was thrown at me one time that my number one priority was decorating my office, which I kind of took offense to a little bit, because I was trying to do was make a happier work environment and a respectable place for visitors to come see. So I did. I spent time and I spent my own money to fix it up and to make a place that looks like you could do business in.
Cassat used money from a nonprofit fund he created for paying for smaller projects in the city, for purchasing paint and supplies for hallways on all 3 floors.
I created a 501c3 so we'd have some money that I could match grants with and do small projects without having to go to the budget or general fund to help the city out. I like to represent all the departments of the city, so I saw obviously the police and the fire department have logos, so I had my creative guy come up with one for the city employees of City Hall and the Public Works, and then I created I guess there'd be window coverings to put on doors at City Hall to show which office is what, to make it more colorful and more personal.
When walls on the 1st and 3rd floors are repainted, Cassat asked the Greater Hazleton Historical Society and the Hazleton Art League for help in creating displays. Cassat is also hoping to have an open house when it's all completed. However, he says during business hours, the public is always welcome.
I would love to get to the schools and the elementary schools to give tours of City Hall again. I remember when I was a child, we came down and you toured City Hall and met the mayor, saw the police station. So I would like to do that. Eventually, I would like to have a community day where kids could come down and see the fire engines, the heavy equipment, the police again. So there's a lot of things I'd like to do. Working on the auditorium to maybe use for Crime Watch meetings, and if anybody needs a gathering place, it's a pretty big space that's open to the public to use if they need so.
When painting is completed, Cassat wants to have the floors polished. Coming up next, Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik is back with a full look at our forecast. Stay tuned.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi Electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
If you're not in danger and you see a crime, text 274-637, 274-637, 274-637. Send your tip, take them off the street. Text 274-637. Send your tip, take them off the street. No one will know your identity.
Now helping to solve or prevent a crime is just a text away. Text my tips to the word crimes and let the law help you.
Well, it definitely is a beautiful day across northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Overhead, just a couple of those high, thin cirrus clouds. Sun is shining. We got some very mild temperatures today, and it's even going to get milder for tomorrow. Just a little bit of a breeze out here, but other than that, it feels very, very nice across our area. We got some showers to talk about, a cold front, which is going to bring in some chillier air as we head into the weekend. But before we get to all of that, we can get on to the graphic today, and we have that stalled boundary toward the north, and that's where all the precipitation continues to remain. As long as that stays there, where it's at, we stay on a dry side of things, we stay on a mild side of things as well, and that's going to be the case even as we head through tomorrow. But then things are going to change. I'll explain in just a little bit. Really nothing to show you. Live 35 Skycast Doppler, northern tier of PA, upstate New York. A little bit of some precipitation, but for our area, our viewing area, it's dry. 62 degrees outside our television station in Hazleton. Feeling pretty good out there. If you think it feels pretty good out there outside of our station now, check out the Avoca Airport where it's 68 degrees. Milder in Philly where it's 73, 72 in Harrisburg, 71 in Selinsgrove, 72 in Williamsport, and 70 degrees in State College. Still in the 60s in the Wyoming Valley area. Satellite and radar, there you can clearly see where that stalled front is. Right up through here, it's even some colder weather up toward the north of that front. You can see a mixture of precipitation indicated by the pinks and some blues indicating some snow. Even parts of the northern tier of PA seeing a little bit of some showery activity. But the rest of us, just some of those high thin cirrus clouds. That's about it. We stay mild tonight, only dropping down into the 40s tomorrow. Hey, it's looking pretty good there. I think we'll be getting up into the 60s for the most part, staying mild as we head into tomorrow night and early Friday morning. So the frontal boundary out toward the west, this guy is going to start to spread toward the east, and once it does, it's going to bring in some showers and it's going to bring in some cooler weather for the ending part of the week heading into this weekend. But again, the middle part of this week, like we're experiencing now and tomorrow, enjoy it because those temperatures will be very mild. Extended forecast looking like this, and what we can expect going into the next couple of days, about 62 as we head into tomorrow. Got some showers for Friday in the 50s, cooler for the weekend, but dry for the holiday Easter weekend. In the 50s, some more showers for early next weekend. In the 40s by Tuesday, again, very typical for March weather. Just about anything can hold true, temperature-wise and weather-wise. Pick 2, daytime Pennsylvania lottery numbers 25, pick 3, 667, and pick 4, 1557. Pick 5 numbers 162, 18, and the treasure hunt numbers 4, 5, 10, 14, and 28. Stick around. We'll have a lot more for you coming up after these commercial messages.
If you haven't found the perfect fishing getaway, you haven't been to Captain's Cove. Located on Henderson Harbor in upstate New York, Captain's Cove offers a variety of accommodations to please just about anyone. The motel, also located on the harbor, offers a magnificent view. Enjoy free morning coffee, air-conditioned rooms, cable TV, and HBO. The cottage can accommodate up to 8 people with 3 bedrooms, a complete kitchen, washer-dryer, 2 full baths, air conditioning, and outside grill and picnic table. Call us today for rates and information at 1-800-824-FISH.
There's only one Hazleton-based television station that reaches voters across the entire region. WYLN-TV, the best political talk with extensive programming options. WYLN TV, your stop for political talk.
Pennsylvania Pipeline Music TV features performances and interviews with the best musicians from all over, showcasing their original music and sharing their stories. Watch Pennsylvania Pipeline Music TV Thursdays at 8, Sundays at 9 on WYLN TV 35.
The Shine After School program will soon be making its way to the Hazleton area. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich has the details.
2 Shine program centers will soon be opening up in the Hazleton area. Started back in 2002, Shine is an after-school program that caters to elementary students. The goal is to merge both school and home education. Wilkes University brought the program to Luzerne County with the help of Senator John Yudichak and Congressman Lou Barletta. 35 to 40 students are expected to be served at Maple Manor and another 60 to 75 at the Hazleton Area Career Center.
Eventually, high school students will be mentors over in the Career Academy, around 20. And then we're also just beginning a home visiting program where we'll have 50 kindergarten children from Hazleton enrolled in a very exciting a home visiting program where teachers will sit down with parents and work with children to help them improve in reading and math skills.
An informational session was conducted last night in Maple Manor. Parents and students had the opportunity to ask questions about the Shine program.
What the agenda is going to be, what a typical day in Shine would be, the projects we're going to work on, how does homework work into that, how we focus on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Just which buses, who is going to be on what bus stop they're going to be at, just general questions. Also to talk about how we want parents to become engaged. We want them to be involved. We want them to volunteer. We want them to be in our home visiting. All students will have a chance to be in a home visiting program to work with the kids to ensure there is no summer learning loss.
Many children in the area are looking forward to enrolling, including 5th grader Amanda Guzman.
I think it would help me a lot because it'll teach me things that I don't know. I can learn more things and it opens my eyes to more jobs for me.
Classes are scheduled to begin on Tuesday, March 29th. A ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held the following week. For more information on the program, visit shineafterschool.com. In Hazel Township, for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. Coming up next, Eric DeVerdinis is in with sports here on WYLN. Plus, Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik will have one final look at our forecast. Stay tuned.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. You're going to meet Pete, a wonderful young man who had an unfortunate car accident, who sought chiropractic care and a team of doctors to help him along this road of recovery. It's coming up this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Join us.
WYLN has strong ties to the community and it's committed to important causes like the American Cancer Society and Helping Hands Society telethons. WYLN's commitment to Pennsylvania continues with the broadcast of Hazleton's Fun Fest Parade and the Christmas and St. Patrick's Day parades in Wilkes-Barre. In the summer, we broadcast the Weatherly and Giants Despair Hill Climb. And throughout the year, we provide important community services through the broadcast of town meetings, school board meetings, election night coverage, and other community events. WYLN, we're your local network.
On the pro level, the NFL, a 12-month league these days. It's a constant cycle. High school football, not too far off. Hazleton area on the upswing, and there's even more optimism around with a guaranteed spot in the playoffs this year under the new PIAA classification system. We recently caught up with Cougars coach Mike Brennan, who discussed the off-season outlook.
It's been a great off season. Our kids are working extremely hard in the weight room. We're much bigger. We're much more physical. The energy level is extremely high for March. So we're excited. We're excited about the whole change in schedule, playing some Lackawanna League teams. We're excited for the fact that, we're going to jockey for position for week 11. We're in a closed 4-team tournament with some of the teams in District 2 and District 4. So we're excited about a lot. I feel like our young kids are really maturing. Our old kids sort of laid the foundation for I think what's to come.
You thought recent retirements were drawn out. Derek Jeter, Kobe Bryant. Well, now there's Alex Rodriguez. On Wednesday, Rodriguez told ESPN that he plans to retire when his contract with the Yankees expires at the end of the 2017 season. So 2 more years of A-Rod in the Bronx. The current stats are Hall of Fame worthy, and they were 8 years ago when he inked a 10-year, $275 million contract with the Yankees. The 40-year-old enters 2016 with 687 career home runs. That's just 27 behind Babe Ruth, and with 3,070 hits. The numbers also extend to a few controversies, which include being suspended for the entire 2014 season after violating the league's substance abuse policy. But he came back strong in 2015 and is expected to be New York's everyday designated hitter this year. And opening day less than 2 weeks away, and Hazleton native Joe Maddon will enter the season for the first time ever as the favorite to win the World Series with the Chicago Cubs. Spring training a time to work out the kinks, so the Cubbies' 7-13 record doesn't really indicate much. They did beat Cincinnati on Tuesday, powered by that big blast from first baseman Anthony Rizzo. But as we know, it's not always just baseball with Maddon, who yesterday took time to chat a bit about a recent focus, politics, mentioning a recent dinner with former presidential advisor.
I think it's very wise for me not to become political. I think it's very wise for me to remain apolitical at this point. There's so much time left to get this thing all figured out. Like I said, I am enjoying it. I think we all are. I am a registered voter in Florida. I exercise my right in the primary.
So just another way to keep things loose, I guess. Tonight on Late Edition Sports, highlights from Wilkes-Barre as the Baby Penguins look to create a first-place cushion. But next, Joe Garbacik is in with a final look at the forecast. Stay tuned.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicapped accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget. Restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314.
I'm Tiffany Cloud, host of The Storm and panelist during WYLN 35's live election night coverage. I volunteer my time hosting the American Cancer Society Telethon and helping plan the Society's Season of Hope Gala. And I also support veteran organizations such as the Valor Clinic, which feeds, clothes, and shelters homeless veterans. I believe it's important to give back to our community.
Alrighty, with that boundary toward the north, again, that's where the precipitation lies, even some over the extreme northern tier of PA, a couple of spotty showers, but the rest of us, hey, it's been pretty nice, and tomorrow is shaping up to be very nice across our area, a couple of degrees milder even than what we saw today, and then a little bit of a cool down as we have to deal with a couple of showers that will overspread our area. And once they do, it drags in the front, and once that front comes through, it's going to bring in some cooler weather by the ending part of the week and as we start going into this upcoming weekend. But overall, at least for the holiday weekend, Saturday and Sunday at this point in time, it looks like it should remain dry. Extended forecast looking like this, and what we can expect for tomorrow, we're up into the 60s. Many areas will be in mid to upper 60s. Some areas could touch just about 70 degrees, and then some showers come into play for Friday in the 50s. Saturday and Sunday looking dry, generally in the 50s. Some areas will be near 60 degrees, some showers early next week, and then again it brings in some cooler weather. Very typical for March. That's what we can expect. But hey, as the days get longer, we see more daylight, and of course average temperatures go up as well.
I like it. I like those average temperatures, and all that precipitation can stay up north.
Sure, you can stay there. We don't need it.
I like it too. Baseball right around the corner, which
It's
is exciting
exciting.
times.
Love it.
But you like to see that type of forecast for baseball.
Yeah.
Opening day, 2 weeks away.
Hopefully the grounds can stay dry, because we all know that sometimes
We'll see
poses a
about our
problem.
teams. The Phillies, maybe not, but our adopted team, the Cubs, big hopes for this year.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens, but it is spring sports season, so looking forward to all those schools. Have a good one, everyone.